All right. You have done it again. PANW, another great trade here. What are we looking at?
Okay, so for a quick recap, if you missed the last time we talked about this and we put it together, we had a trade and we talked about using the ATR and what the market makers were saying. And we looked at this heavy congestion zone and we said, hey, listen, chart could come into this 365-ish area, so let's make that our middle strike. And so true to form, the chart did exactly what we thought it would. Now, what's happened is that we've got a pretty good size move. I'm going to go to the weekly so we can do the measurement. And I'll tell you a little bit about what normal traders do and what we did and what might happen in these kinds of situations. So for the last earnings event, and I'm doing this to jog my memory, Ryan, so forgive me, high to low, $24. Okay, so we were looking at about $24. This one was 100 and something. But we're looking normally at about 20 something dollars from the move. Okay, so we are right at the $30 mark. So we're expanding a little bit wide, but we're coming into clear resistance. Now, this is a sweet spot, but here's what happens when traders sell butterflies. Because butterflies have a much higher probability of being correct if we sell them, when we buy them, people are willing to sell them to us all day long because they think to themselves, these guys are going to lose their money. I'm going to sell it to them. But because we're so organized about what we're doing, most of the time when we do win, we win much bigger than we normally would see. So what happened here on the 13th of September is when we sold our butterflies to the upside, everyone from the market maker perspective said, these guys are knuckleheads. I'm going to sell it to them all day. And so they sold it to us, we bought it, but now they're on the hook for all our profits. And so when the volume is thin, like it's sitting right now, 355 to 365 to 375, look, very thin price action right here. And so what that means is trying to sell that butterfly in one single piece becomes quite a bit difficult. So if you're having trouble selling all of your butterflies or parts of your butterflies here, I would suggest wait a couple of days, let the volume settle itself out. Here's the fantastic thing. As long as we do not close by September the 13th, as long as we do not close above, say, 367, 368, which is where I think we choke out, actually really all the way to 370, and we'll still make a ton of cash. And so for those of us not being able to get out of the spread, immediately you can do two things. You can call your broker and say, please force this trade. I want to get out. And if you've been around for a long time, they will say, all right, whatever. What do you want to do? And they'll force the trade for you, just so long as you're not asking for gigantic amounts. But what's happening, you can see, do you see? I don't know if you can see this, but this has moved from $2.15 to 0 to now 90 cents sitting in that space. And it's because traders are trying to get themselves in and out of these particular positions. So the good news is we're sitting in a ton of profit. The bad news is we aren't able to extricate as quickly as we would like to, And so at the end of the day, we have to do the most difficult thing there is for a trader to do, and that is be patient. Be patient with the motion. And
Indeed.
so,
Indeed, that is hard to do, especially with these things. I find myself going through that too. So I'm glad we're covering this.
yeah. And there's a level of anxiety, but here's the big thing. Here's what I want you to think about. You're winning, and the guy on the other side who has the position is losing. So he's the one on the back foot.